we've been to the cinema. We're not going to touch upon what we saw in the cinema because we have a whole podcast about that.
Yeah, I don't think we want to kind of like just revisit the podcast we've already put out.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a Tenet Spoiler Special out if you want to check that out. But only if you've seen Tenet. Don't listen to it if you haven't seen it, because we really spoil it.
Yes.
But yeah, we went to the pictures. It was lovely. I really enjoyed it. It was the first time we'd been to the pictures for about, I think we thought it was like 18 months, 2 years.
I think
like
it's...
together, going together.
I think it's Bohemian Rhapsody was the last time we went to see it together.
Yeah, so we say that in the spoiler special as well. So if you've listened to that and then come and listen to this, apologies for the repetition.
So, would you go again?
Yeah, I'd really like to go again.
You felt safe, you felt...
Yeah, I didn't have any problems with the safety. I mean, I've been to the supermarket today and there were people closer to me in the supermarket buying their children's school items ready for Tuesday than they were in the cinema. So, to be honest with you, I felt safer there than I have done in many other places. Everyone was very well behaved, the staff were great, and we sat in a corner away from all human life, which is what I prefer when I go to the cinema anyway. So it was wonderful. And you chose seats that were right in the corner, right at the back, and I was thinking, oh, I'm not going to be able to see here. I need new glasses anyway, but I'm not going to be able to see, and it's a bit tucked away, and I'll be right at the side rather than in the middle. But they were perfect, so I'd definitely go and do that again. I think I'd choose my films. I know you're going to see The New Mutants, like, in a couple of days' time.
Yeah.
It wouldn't... It's not a draw for me. I'm not going to be, like, tag teaming it with you, going, all right, you go and see it in the morning, I go see it in the afternoon, and then we talk about it, because
But what if it's the film of the year?
It's not going to be. It's got a terrible history. They're not even showing it to critics, and the trailer was just someone shoving a door in someone's face, and that was it.
5 stars.
No. But you've been going, obviously, as
yes.
you've spoken about over the past few weeks, and you obviously feel safe enough to go even for a film that no one really wants to see, where you're the only person, like, you're going to be the only person there.
Probably not, because I'm going on Bank Holiday Monday, so yeah. I suspect some people might go. Although I did look, a couple of days ago, I looked at how busy any of the performances were, and there wasn't a single ticket sold on it. I mean, they're releasing it at the same time as Tenet. It's surely designing it to fail.
Well, yeah, I think it's just got such a remakes, reshoots. It's going to come out, no it isn't, then we're pushing it back.
I think when this was filmed, Game of Thrones was still on.
Yeah. It's been that long.
Yeah.
And no one's very excited about it. Apart from you, because you get to go to the pictures, don't you?
It's an X-Men movie. I'll go see it.
What's the next thing that's out? I have seen on a podcast that we absolutely love, the Bold Move podcast, I have seen that they have seen the next Bill and Ted, because that's come out as their latest episode.
Yeah.
And when do we get to see Bill and Ted?
End of September.
Oh, okay, right. That's right. Okay, good. Because I was thinking it was going to be ages away, but...
Are you interested in Bill and Ted?
Yeah. Would I go to the pictures to see it? Probably, yeah. I probably would. Yeah. I don't know what the reviews are like. I haven't listened to.
Oh, I'm avoiding everything about it.
You've avoided trailers and everything, so
yes.
yeah. So I'll probably will as well up to there. I've seen the trailer, but I'll avoid everything else. What else is coming out?
Black Widow.
Yeah, okay.
You're not interested? Well, we've had this discussion.
We had it on the spoiler special, but I would be happy to watch it on the TV. I'd be happy to watch it on the telly. I'm not sure you could drag me out to the pictures.
Okay.
To see it.
Even with David Harbour in it, your favourite man.
Yeah, even with David Harbour. I could just watch Stranger Things to get a bit of my Harbour fix.
Yeah, but he shows his muscles off in this.
He's
and he has
bigger
his
and
top
beardier
off.
in this, isn't he? So maybe that would swing it. But no, Wonder Woman, I would definitely go and see at the pictures.
Okay.
And we saw the trailer for that when we went to see Tenet.
Yes.
We also saw a trailer for a film which, partway through the trailer, the rowdy teenagers that were the other side of the cinema, which I was worried about, but they were fine. The rowdy teenagers shouted Armageddon during it.
Yeah.
Because it actually was, and they were right.
Yeah.
Give them the dues. They were right. This film, this trailer with Jared Butler in, looked just like a mix of Independence Day, Armageddon, Deep Impact, all of those all mixed up. It's called Greenland.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
I've never heard of it. Yeah, and you were the same. You didn't know why it was called Greenland?
Yeah.
It was something to do with, like, some meteors are going to hit the Earth.
Florida, though, not Greenland.
Yeah, right, okay, so that... Yeah, I just couldn't quite understand what was happening. But anyway, the meteors were meant to just, like, land in the sea, weren't they? But they don't.
Yes.
And that's essentially it.
That's about it, yeah.
Haven't we been here before?
Yeah.
Haven't we done these films before?
Yeah, we had Armageddon and Deep Impact the same year. So, 23rd of September, you've got Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Okay.
Week after that, you've got Wonder Woman 1984.
Yes.
Week after that, you've got Death on the Nile.
Really? It's that close?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. There's two.
Week after that, you've got Candyman. Week after that, you've got nothing, really.
Oh, it's going so well.
The Secret Garden.
Oh,
No.
God, not for you.
Week after that, you got Black Widow. And then other things that I've heard about. No Time to Die is a couple of weeks after that.
That'd be good. Is that November?
Yeah. And then a couple of weeks after that, it's Soul.
It's what?
Soul, the new Pixar film.
I've never heard of that.
You must have done that.
Soul.
Yeah.
Spell that for me.
Soul.
Okay. Right. I've never heard of that before.
Okay, the trailer's been out a while.
I've not seen it.
Why you sound so offended by this?
No, it's just some new information that's come to light that I'm racking my brain to go, I must have heard of this, but no, I haven't. Okay.
I plan to go see every one of them. So,
I know you do. I know.
Apart from maybe The Secret Garden.
know
Well,
that.
definitely not The Secret Garden.
Yeah, I don't even think that would drag you out.
So, this is the first proper week of our new format.
Yes.
Format.
You've just had to remind me what we're doing as well before I turned the recorder on. It was like, what are we doing now? Which one are we doing? Is it After Work Drinks? Is it TV? Is it film? Is it Tenet?
So we are going to be reviewing what we've been watching.
Yeah.
And then we will not be doing a date night tonight.
No, sad times.
But we'll fit one in at some point soon.
Yeah,
and
we will.
It'll just appear on your feeds on a random day.
Yeah.
A little exciting present from us.
I bet everyone's really pleased. A little gift.
Yeah. Should we get into what we've been watching?
Yes, please.
Watching television. I need to talk to you about Lovecraft Country.
Right.
Because we watched this back on Monday.
Yes.
And I've been sitting and thinking about this for a full almost week. How did you think of episode 2?
I thought it took a distinct turn downwards.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page with this. I know with films sometimes we go completely off in two different tangents, but I think with Lovecraft Country, I don't know whether we set it up too much. I was thinking about this as well. Did we set it up too much? Did we love the first episode so much? And how could it ever carry that, that opening episode, how could it ever carry it on at that pace? But I just didn't like the plot of this week's.
Well, so my feeling on this is, episode 1 was quite subtle in the sort of mysterious things happening in the background. Mm-hmm. You saw characters who sort of revealed themselves throughout the episode in the background. The characters didn't necessarily see them, but they were being watched by people. And it feels like we went from the pilot of Lost, where there was just hints of odd things happening, to halfway through season 3 of Lost, where they're throwing everything against the wall because cast members have left. And it was about a season of TV in 1 hour.
I heard someone else say, and I can't remember who it was, otherwise I would credit them, but I heard someone else say it was like going from the first episode of the season to the last.
Yeah.
And that episode 2 could have been the finale.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have known any different.
Absolutely.
And I completely agree with them, whoever it was that said that.
I think this is clearly going to be a series where each episode is very different in style, almost like an anthology show, almost like a Black Mirror, but with the same characters all the way through, because this was a completely different show, completely different feel to the first show. I'm concerned. I was really hoping for something where it would unfold slowly throughout the season, and maybe there'd be some revelations, but each question that was answered asked another question. Kind of like Lost did in its first season. No, I will carry on watching it because of the first episode, but I'm concerned.
they lost me when in the scene, no spoilers here, but there's a scene involving a cow, and they lost me then. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, well, that didn't even pay off.
Yeah,
like
it was too much for me.
It was almost Lynchian, I think, and
I don't even think it was Lynchian. I think Lynch has got a bit more subtlety to it. It was just here we are, bang, and that's it. Yeah, I am the only thing that pulls me back into it are the characters.
Yeah.
This episode had a real sense of Get Out about it, which I enjoyed because it's Jordan Peele, so I enjoyed going back to that topic and that theme and that feeling of Get Out. I am saving my opinion, my full opinion, until we get to the end. And it may be, like you say, if it's more of an anthology where we're changing genres each episode, there's going to be some that don't hit because this particular theme just might not sit with you.
Yeah. Whereas
another one might be right up your street. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I did prefer I preferred the tension that we felt in episode 1. That felt real and grounded in fact. And the suspense and the horror that I felt for the characters who were being racially abused, that was real, and it felt physical. This just went somewhere else, and I didn't feel that reality coming through.
I think I didn't believe what was going on in this, and obviously there are things to this which are meant to be unbelievable, but nothing seemed based on anything that would ever happen in any reality at all.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
next
we
week.
Might revisit this next week and touch upon it, but yeah.
I don't think it's a lost cause.
No.
Remember when we watched Watchmen recently, not the film, the TV series, and there were some episodes where we sort of got to the end and went,
yeah,
and it might just be that because we love that as a show as a whole.
Yeah, fair point.
Can't love every episode, I suppose.
What do you want to do next?
Let's do Cobra Kai. Because I don't have a clue what you think of this show, and I could feel that we were on the same length with Lovecraft Country when we were watching it, but we've watched a couple of episodes of Cobra Kai that's new on Netflix. I know it's been out for ages because it was on YouTube, wasn't it, to begin with?
It was the big launch title for YouTube's premium service, and for whatever reason it has, I think they weren't renewed by YouTube. I think the producer's relationship with YouTube has been quite problematic because they were trying to find a new partner ahead of season 2, which they didn't get. But now season 3 is going to be on Netflix, and Netflix have brought the first 2 seasons on yesterday or a couple of days ago.
A couple of days ago, I think, yeah.
So, yeah, it's the first time watching it. It's been out a couple of years. And you're sat there with a big Wallace and Gromit grin on your face.
I loved it. I loved it so much. It's a great big dollop of nostalgia. It is just wonderful. If you're a kid of the 80s, if you love the Karate Kids, and I really like the sequels as well, even going up to the one where like Hilary Swank's in it and they completely change characters.
Karate Kid: The Next Generation.
Something like that. I don't know if it's Karate Kid 3 or 4.
No.
Is that what it's called?
Karate Kid, yeah, it's called Karate Kid: The Next Generation.
I mean,
there's a reason why I said that.
But it's always on like ITV2 or whatever. And I used to watch it a lot when I was a kid, and just the soundtrack's so iconic, the lines are so iconic. You got Elizabeth Shue running around in it. It's, so you've got a lovely Back to the Future connection. I love those films. And this just, I think because if you're a child of the 80s, you're coming back to the characters that you knew then, and they're now that you're sort of your age then, or there or thereabouts, and they're your age now, so you're able to really hone into your own life. So when you're seeing characters that you knew as teenagers with their kids or at home, or having problems in their life, you can really it speaks to you, I think, but in a really cheesy way, which is why I'm smiling, because this is 28 minutes an episode, like 30 minutes. You pick up, you see what's happened to Daniel Rousseau, you see what's happened to Johnny Lawrence, and you have a new bunch of teenagers as well that are in the mix. And it's complete throwaway nonsense, but I think it's got real heart to it, and I think that beneath a lot of like terrible dialogue and 90s rock, which seems to be peppering the soundtrack, I think you've got some stories that need telling, and updated stories.
Okay.
What did you think of it? I can't tell whether you hated this or not.
So let's deal with the elephant in the room first of all. So I've seen the first 2 episodes. I think you've seen more of this because you went and dived into this before I could.
I didn't think you'd want to watch it.
So the first 2 episodes, the first one deals with William Zabka's character, Johnny Lawrence, and the second one deals more with Ralph Macchio's character, Danny LaRusso. And I think it becomes clear why we've not seen a stellar career from either Ralph Macchio or William Zabka.
I think they're doing a lovely job.
I think they're doing a job, and I think many of them, they'll be very appreciative of that job.
I think you're being very harsh there. I think the guy who plays Johnny Lawrence, whose name I've forgotten, even though you've just said it a couple of seconds ago.
Yeah.
I think he really fills that performance with the guy who was the teenager, who was the karate champion, and then he got defeated, and now look, where is his life now? He has that real sense of like the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's had you get to know a little bit more about his backstory and about his childhood and why he might have been the bully. And I think he really, really shows that he's not suddenly become the best person. He's not turning his life around. He's setting up the Cobra Kai. That's the whole point of the show, isn't it? Cobra Kai, going back to it. But I think he's got something that, and Ralph Macchio is really smug. He's really smug because on the other hand, he's done really well out of it, and he has Mr. Miyagi was his mentor, and he's got a lovely wife and a great big house, and I think they really do a good job of not just going back to those characters that we knew in the film and adding more to it.
I think it's well written. I think their performances twinge on wooden at times. I mean, you must see that when some of the emotional speeches that they try to give, it is a little bit like they're reading off cards.
I think sometimes it is a little bit cheesy. There was a scene with Daniel LaRusso and Daniel LaRusso's child.
Yeah.
There was a flashback that was all sort of soft round the edges, and he's teaching her karate, and he's repeating what Mr. Miyagi said to him, and that was awful. That is cringeworthy, but it's part of the show.
Okay, so my difference of opinion to you is I love that bit, and I love this show. Well, I am 100% all in for this. I can live with the cheesy acting. I can live with the non-acting. This is how I imagine. What's the film? What's the TV show that's on Netflix? Riverdale. This is how I imagine Riverdale to be, but with characters that we've grown up with.
Fair enough. I don't really know anything about Riverdale, but
it's Archie comics, but on TV.
Okay.
Yeah, the kids are really good in this,
yeah.
And it's very much the same storylines that I love in Saved by the Bell and the California Dreams.
Yeah.
And that's so I am custom made for this.
Yeah.
And I will be watching probably all of this in the next week.
It's actually a little bit High School Musical without the songs, because it's all about the cliques in high school.
Yeah.
So you've got like what they call the nerd table, which actually I think the best acting of the teenagers come from the kids on that table.
Yeah.
They're very droll. They're very they've got real sense of knowing about them, so they know they're on the nerd table. They know, you're like, don't try and be with those girls over there, they're like rich and hot. And then you've got the mean girls, essentially. It really reminded me of sort of Heathers,
or Mean Girls.
All Mean Girls. So I really enjoyed the teenage bits because it's just updated for, there's one kid, he's lying about why he's been to the newsagents, and I think at one point, in the point that we see him actually going to the newsagents, the real thing he was going to the newsagents for was condoms. But when someone asks him, he says, I was going to the newsagents for, and then he paused, he went, protein bars. And that's so updated, isn't it? Like, you never get that in 1984. So yeah, oh, I'm really pleased, and it's such a good thing to just chuck on. Like, I watched 2 episodes with the little one just next to me, and it was fine because I didn't have to concentrate too hard. And if I had to pop into the kitchen or do other jobs and things, I wasn't missing anything for like a minute. And we could have it on like on a night time. I think it would be a really fun thing to just throw on for 30 minutes when we just think, oh, I can't be bothered to use my brain.
Yeah, I'm totally
so
down
really
for that.
recommend this to anyone out there, especially if you're a child of the 80s and you really enjoyed The Karate Kid. Go and watch a couple of episodes, see if it's for you. Indulge yourself in some nostalgia and some cheese.
Ignore the acting from the 2 adult leads.
I think they're great. I just think I love the idea of like learning more about why the bully was the bully and seeing the kid that did really well, and has done well in adult life now. But just seeing that maybe everything isn't as perfect as you might imagine, and seeing them come together, it is a bit like school reunion. It is a bit like bumping into someone in the street that you knew when you were a teenager, and your paths have gone so differently.
It is disappointing that Danny LaRusso didn't marry Ali in the end.
Oh, sad, isn't it? I know.
Yeah.
I know. I was thinking that. That would have been lovely.
But she's heading up the boys, so
is
yeah,
she?
more of that next week.
Okay. What else have we?
We have,
What else have we
honey,
watched?
we have literally just finished I Hate Suzie.
Yes, we have. Billie Piper. Is it written by her? I think it's created by her.
Created by her, so
Created
she
by
acts
her.
as producer.
And also absolutely starring her. She is the Susie. She's in every scene.
Yes. So Suzie, I mean, this is a big stretch for Billie Piper, playing a former child star who broke through when she was 15, singing on, in this it was looks like a reality TV show.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of talent show.
Has now become an actress and is living a lovely life with her child and her husband. And unfortunately, while she's in the middle of a hectic shoot, she's just received a job with Disney. And during a hectic photo shoot, she finds out that her phone has been hacked and photos have leaked online of her, intimate photos. Absolutely grounded in reality here, unlike Lovecraft Country. Yeah.
These are things we know happen. This may have been, I don't know if Billie Piper was ever hacked, but she clearly knows people who have. It's very much grounded in her world.
Absolutely. What did you think of this?
I found it, I'm interested you said the word hectic about the photo shoot, because
Yes.
I found the entire first episode, like, I blinked a lot.
Yes.
The direction is hectic. You are zooming around, it's like handheld, you are zooming around behind her, in front of her, looking up, looking down. She is constantly on the move, so she's never sat down for more than 2 seconds. If she sits down, it's like she's on a hot poker, she's back up again. She's manic. She's really manic. I don't know if I can say enjoyed it. I think if I said find it interesting, that sounds just really bland. But I would watch episode 2.
Yeah.
And see where it goes. I like the premise. I love Billie Piper. I think she is such a watchable presence. I think she brings with her all the baggage of having been that child star, having been in the public eye, having had 2 very public marriages, and then subsequent divorces. Why are you looking confused?
Who's the second marriage?
Lawrence Fox.
Oh.
Yes. Which is, I find, more interesting than her first marriage to Chris Evans, because herself and Lawrence Fox are quite clearly on 2 different ends of the political spectrum.
Just a bit, yeah,
But
that
the
seems clear.
less said about him, the better, I think. Yeah, I just, she brings all of that to the table, and you know that she's been through this. So when you've got I think it's Esquire, I think they even say it's for Esquire, this photo shoot, you know that she has had experience of those sorts of photo shoots and can really imbue this with reality and make it grounded. And I completely believed that is what it's like to have 20 odd people come into your house. I love the idea. of, and I don't think this is a spoiler, I love the idea of them actually taking things out of your house and replacing them with things to make it look like it's your house.
Yes.
Even to the point of giving you some dogs. I'm sure that's what happens all the time when you do sort of like your okays, your hellos, your other magazines. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm meant to warm to any of the characters. I'm not sure if I'm meant to like them. I don't necessarily think any of them are likeable people, but maybe that's the point.
I quite liked the PR person. And I mean, a lot of the way that this is quite anxiety inducing, the way it's set out. It almost reminded me of, in very, very different film, and I know that you've never seen this and never will, but Darren Aronofsky's Mother.
Okay.
In that it's following around a central female protagonist just as chaos is going out around her, and she has things that are happening to her, but people won't let her concentrate on them because they are distracting her. And that's very much what happens in this. This ends in a way that I never thought would happen. There is a quite surreal sequence that came out of nowhere for me.
I agree, and at that point my nose wrinkled and I went, oh, I don't think this is where I want it to go.
This might be the difference between you and me, because I was
Did
like,
you like it?
I'm totally down for this.
Oh, God, right, okay.
Yeah, a little bit of levity, a little bit of, yeah.
Okay.
I'm down with this. I love Billie Piper. I liked Billie Piper when she first broke onto the music scene with Honey to the Bee and Because We Want To. I loved her in Doctor Who. I never saw... Was it Secret Diary of a Call Girl?
Yeah, she was excellent in that. She was really, really good. And that, again, was quite an exposing show for all the reasons that the title suggests.
I've seen her in... she's pretty good in Penny Dreadful.
You would mention Penny
Yeah,
Dreadful.
I mean, no one's going to be winning a BAFTA for that, but or an Emmy or whatever it is. She's probably the best thing in there. We're surrounded by some, pretty heavyweight actors. I'm totally down for this. If she's gonna do things like this, which are daring and pushy and things like that, I will forgive her for marrying Chris Evans.
I don't think you have to forgive her. That was her choice.
She broke my heart when she married Chris Evans.
She was having a lovely time by all accounts.
A little bit too lovely by the sounds of it, but
maybe. But
I don't think necessarily helped each other, them two.
Yeah, but I just think, when you're in that position, I wasn't thinking of going into a full analysis of this, but I think this is what the show is trying to show you. We're obviously seeing her much later in life, but when you are thrown into the spotlight at that age, what else are you going to do? How else is your life going to go when you are given all this stuff, when the doors are opened, good doors and bad doors? What are you going to do? And I think the fact that she has this show out now really shows you that, you can go through those things. You can make choices that maybe people aren't so keen on, but, and you can come through and produce something like this for yourself, and I'm really pleased for her.
It shows that she has a self-awareness that many in the industry probably don't have.
Yeah,
we're going to close with Honey to the Bee then.
Probably will. Yeah. So yeah, recommend I Hate Suzie. I think it's a fascinating show. I still need to give it another episode or two just to see, because if it does go the way that you like, it might have lost me. But if it stays more grounded and we learn a little bit more about the consequences of hacking for the people who it affects, if we get more of an insight into celebrity, that is what really, pulls me in.
I would be very surprised if they didn't, given that I've noticed that the titles are named after the 7 stages of grief. Yeah, so the first one's shocked.
Right.
I'm going to look at the other ones.
Because it'll be like, will there be denial and anger? Oh, well done, Mark. Is that football by any chance?
Yeah. That's what I was watching.
Mark's just putting the telly on.
So the first one's shock. The second one's denial.
Oh, right, okay.
Fear, shame, bargaining, guilt, anger, and acceptance.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's definitely what is... what we're in for.
One final thing is the something that I found just made my heart melt a little bit was her son is played by someone, a boy who has hearing loss, and they use sign language with him, and he has hearing aids, and as two people who have a child who are in the same position, it just, I don't know, just that sort of that being seen on screen as something really normal, and she's signing to him.
Yeah, and it's never played out to be anything other than just
he's
part of their life.
And that's it. Made me really happy.
Well,
that's it. No date night.
Not yet.
No.
We'll have one soon.
We'll whose turn is it anyway?
It's my turn to nominate for you.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Right, thanks everyone.
We'll see you soon.
Bye. Before you go, just a reminder that you can subscribe to the Honeymoon Period podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can join in the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for The Honeymoon Pod. Finally, if you like this episode and you think someone else would too, please share it. See you next time.